coming to you again at Thursday, April 25th, 2019 at 1100 hours and 42 minutes. Episode 2, Wins and Losses. The narrative should be the same for all players. As I stated, my favorite players of all time is Oscar Robertson, LeBron James, and Scottie Pippen. That's a guy from each era that I wasn't alive for, the era I was alive for, and now the era I got to actually watch. I got to watch LeBron James in the fullness. And other players that I admire is Hakeem Olajuwon, Jeff Green. I know nobody would thought about Jeff Green. Allen Iverson, Vince Carter. He even from North Carolina, and I love Duke. And a lot of my favorite players, everybody from Duke. You go back to Corey Maggette. So you know Corey Maggette is Jason Williams. He didn't even make the NBA because he got hurt. If you can count all of even the new guys. I was just looking at it. Was it Jason? Somebody that plays for a team I don't care for, played for Duke. They might have got traded. Duke players have always been in the league. Grant Hill, he had got hurt. So, and to me, if we're going to do the greatest of all time, if we're going to do the greatest in the man's world, this is how do we measure the wins and losses? Championships. The player in the NBA of the American Basketball Association collaborated with the National Basketball Association is Bill Russell, another one of my favorite players. So I'm going to name guys throughout the series that I might even do individual takes and topics and discussion. And I got my information. Let's talk. Send me an email. Let's do it. And so was Bill Russell. He has 11 individual rings back in the era I wasn't born. There was also Wilt Chamberlain in the era I wasn't born. He has rings too, but not as many. He went up against Bill Russell. Bill Russell would dominate, and Wilt Chamberlain would dominate as well. Wilt Chamberlain averaged 20 rebounds. 20 rebounds in the season, an era of don't matter what era. This is what I always tell people. This is why I talk sports, because each era have its place. If you're going to give one era one credit, you got to give another era credit. And then at the same time, I mean ERA, not ERR, the way people talk, that one player can't be given credit and the other player can't for the same era. And we can't give power. And reason, Isaiah Thomas, and I said it, but he was on national TV to say it. Nobody didn't hear me yet, and I wasn't doing this yet. He said there is no such thing as the greatest of all time because time is still going. Let that sink in. Let that marinate with you a little bit. There is no greatest of all time because time is still going. So with that said, if I had to give the greatest of all time and we don't talk about him, he's not mentioned, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, originally named Lou Alcindor. He changed his name, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's the only player from 8 years whenever he started playing basketball. Already knew this about him. I wasn't born, but you can look up things, and I wanted to see who was the greatest. Because I'm saying if you're the greatest of all time, if we're looking at all time start when what? You are born. Yes, it's logical, and it could be philosophical. I call this bomb atomically. I used to say this when the Wu-Tang song came on, The Triumph. A bomb atomically. I always say that. Obama, I didn't know what he was actually saying until I Googled it. I was like, so see how Google works when you look things up, look up information you want to look up. He said, I bomb atomically. Socrates' philosophies and hypotheses. I'll be forming armed robberies, possibly be splotting me. Lyric goes Shogun. The battle started flaming. I remember that. My cousin listened to it. I wasn't listening to Wu-Tang. And that was years later, back in 2000. They were saying this in 1995. He said this. And that's why then I even eventually listened to the Kevin Gates, 6 Jobs. I didn't have 6 jobs, but at that moment, I have money coming in. I may not have a lot of things as a lot of other people. So, and I know I went over because I'm only getting 7 to 8 minutes. So, the win versus losses. What sparked me to do this series? Because most people have their favorite player based on their family. I don't have a player based on or word of mouth. I wanted to see myself. And since we are in the age of technology and electronic devices, that's finally we can put out and display to the public, to the masses, the media outlets. I said, let me do my due diligence. I had to go do my own research and get my own knowledge. And I'm learning guys were saying was wrong. I was like, this is wrong. That's not what he was only doing. He wasn't the only player. That's why I was happy I got to watch Allen Iverson because I watched the shortest dude ever take a team to the playoffs, and I watched him do it. And I watch other players do it too, but I love LeBron. I think Michael Jordan got his own rights, and Kobe Bryant, Oscar Robertson, but I got to see Allen Iverson. Boom, boom, left, right, step back, shoot, dunk, putbacks, everything in a man that was my size at the time. And I was actually shorter than him. I didn't get to 6'5", he's 6'1". So I actually didn't get to experience that. I got to experience on a different level as everybody else because he's Allen Iverson. I was like, this man is the best point guard I ever seen. Then I did the research. John Stockton has records that no other point guard have broke. And John Stockton and Allen Iverson, to me, became my standard of point guard. Just as I'm going to do, that's going to be a good one. Standard of point guards or standards of position. So that's what, that's a good topic. Standard of point guards. Or standard of positions. And I think they're still relevant. And I mounted everything by wins and losses, correct? And what sparked me today real quick is to talk about wins and losses. And still as I want to say this is still as an introduction. Sorry, I talked too much. That's why I needed my live to go back a longer time. I'm going to come back one more time and go over the wins and losses. But before I leave this, what I say unto one, I say unto all, is your path, is your journey, it's your choice. Choose wisely. We'll come back. Say loud.